Yo. Alright, exciting time for Bravery Network players. There's a new update available. I want to walk through what the update is, kind of give my thoughts on it, and um, then I'll go through a team I've been playing a little bit um, that was dropped by someone on Discord named Smolgrump, also a viewer of mine. Um, they hosted a tournament recently, which I was fortunate enough to participate in and got third. Smolgrump, really happy they have started kind of hosting small tournaments, and I want to kind of go over a team they posted, a Clint team, and then we'll get in some matches. Alright, so patch notes, accessibility update. Really glad they're adding this to the game. It's not super relevant for myself personally, but always a nice thing to have. Replaying stories now available, awesome. New color scheme, Fakey now available. Courtesy of tournament winner Minimal. Yes, congrats Minimal. Actually have a video planned showing off one of Minimal's teams, and I will be sure to use Fakey for that. Alright, here's the fun stuff, balance changes. First one is Perceptive. Now gives you +1 to the attack stat that you would hit the opponent the hardest, in addition to its old reveal effect. So this is a trait that Fel has. The old reveal effect was whenever Fel comes in, it would show you or reveal the trait, the item, the stat allocations, like the initiatives, all the stats completely show all the focus that was given, and the attacks as well. So everything about the opposing fighter, which is, I mean, knowledge is power. It's very good, but it was definitely a little bit weaker than balanced, which is the other trait. So now, when Fel comes in, they get a +1 boost. So let's say they come in on a Molly, they would get a +1 boost to their physical attack, which means when Molly switches out, because Molly would really want to switch out against Fel, you're hitting whatever comes in that much harder. Now, if you can do this multiple times, Fel is going to get some inevitability there, kind of become a really scary threat. So this is really cool. Definitely up there on power level, I would say. You could do something like lead off with Fel every game and just get an auto boost to an attack stat and be able to threaten that much more. Pair that with a mentor and it kind of just expands upon itself. Really gives Fel a nice revenge killer role that couldn't quite do without a bunch of boosts before. Next up is Balanced. Balance has been changed to Centered. You cannot have your stats lowered or feel any feelings. This I think is going to be the most seen on Fel Captain. It's very good on that, I think. Previously, the best way to get around Fel Captain plan, assuming they have full batteries, is to give them a feeling. So tired, hungry, anything that damages them. So because if Fel faints or forfeits from feelings, the damage from feelings, the trait or the captain plan does not go off. It doesn't activate. So before, that was really good, a good way to get around it. And now it's, if that Fel is centered, you can't do that. Also lets Fel come in on things like Lunch Invite from Molly, like I said before. It gives you a little more free switch-ins if you can predict some sort of feeling attack or trick. Can't have your stats lowered is good. Means Stunning Grace isn't going to drop your initiative at all. Things like Tamper you can come in on. So very consistent. I guess Centered is the more consistent trait. It's going to be all around good, but Perceptive is can really turn Fel into a powerhouse revenge killer. Really excited about both those options. Can't wait to see what people come up with. Next up, you can now do more damage than your opponent has health. I think this is mostly just so we can see some big damage, like if you fireworks Kaiban for 400, 800 damage. But it is relevant for something like Flaunt, which heals based on damage dealt. Previously, if you did 3 damage with Flaunt, you would only heal like 1, I think. But now, if they have 3 health left and you flaunt, dealing, I don't know, 200 damage, you'll heal a ton. Even though they only have 3 health left. Last up, Captain Clint now has 2 batteries, up from 1. This is cool. Captain Clint was not really used much, but I never felt like it was bad. And we'll get into this later, what Captain Plan does with Clint, but having 2 batteries to play around with is only an improvement. I do expect to see a little more Clint, or Captain Clint, walking around the battlefield. Alright, let's hop into the team builder now, and I'll show you the team. Alright, let's check out this team. Smolgrump posted a Clint captain team, a stall defensive team, which I call small stall. Clint captain plan, a teammate other than Clint tags out, heal 10. So the general gist of this team is you want to make some defensive switches, keep all your fighters healthy with that captain plan, and pressure with pop-ups and just kind of chip damage, chip away your opponent, force them into a position where they can't break you. So lead off with our hero Clint. Clint, max initiative, the rest into attack, just kind of a closer for the team, but can also give kind of a defensive pivot here and there. Clint has pretty natural bulk, so can come in on physical or emotional attacks, escape whip out, build some charge. Candy Pearls gives extra healing as well as brought snacks, and then when Candy Pearls breaks, Riding Crop is boosted in power, so it can kind of help you close out games once that happens. Escape Whip, good to know. Pro tip, if you flourish Escape Whip, it actually gets +1 priority. So sometimes you have a battery to spare and you need a priority attack. Clint can do that with Escape Whip. So just something to keep in mind. You can Escape Whip into our next fighter, Molly. Molly is a defensive tank wall, I guess, more of a wall than a tank, I'd say. Smol's original team I don't think it had any physical defense investment. I actually really like physical defense on Molly. Kind of lets her take random small attacks that she wouldn't normally be able to take, and either heal up from there or toss out a lunch invite. Just a little bit extra investment there. I feel like goes a long way after testing the team. Lucky Pendant for that healing. I think again Smol had Topaz Locket originally, which is nice. It gives you a pop-ups, but I feel like Lucky Pendant is just a little bit better for that chip healing. Unless you come in a little more often on attacks and not be forced to bandage to keep yourself healthy. Even with the captain plan, I feel like it just overwhelms with the healing unless you fire off more attacks than you normally would be able to. Next up is Pema, Resolute Pema with Heavy Locket. Kind of acts as just an overall tank. Definitely hits hard with Haymaker and Firewall, respectively, but can also set up pop-ups for the team and get that chip damage. Sometimes Pema feels a little weak, but it also kind of helps you break other walls like Kaiban. So it definitely has a place on the team. Next up is Lise. Lise, just another kind of staple for the team. Great with Infuriating. You can block tricks. Gives a little bit backbone, just with well-rounded defensive stats, as well as really good digital attack. So can generate charge with fireworks. You have more batteries available to charge with, and also gives you some pop-ups clear for the team, which you definitely need since you're going to be switching a lot to take advantage of that captain plan. So Lise, really good fighter. Lucky Pendant for the healing. A little bit of speed creep to outspeed other Varan, other Lise. And finally, Jane, just a basic physical wall for the team. Threatens or kind of gives some defensive pressure with Thorn Pendant against physical attacks. Acidic Armor eats away at the uses. Definitely extra digital attack here, just to make your firewalls a little bit stronger, and the rest into digital defense. Pop-ups as well. Both Pema and Jane have pop-ups, which means even if one goes down, you could still get them right back up. They kind of cover each other's weaknesses somewhat well. Pema basically having 100 physical defense and 60 emotional defense. Definitely kind of covers each other well. So allows you to get pop-ups more often. So here's the team. I believe Smol did specify, I can't remember what color they specify, what palette, but I'll drop it in the description. Alright, so let's get into some battles. Alright, game against Honeysuckle. Honeysuckle is a fell team. I expect them to want to go for an early battery charge here, so maybe something like Eric or Yasmin. Probably going to be good. Yasmin probably has charge panel, so I think my lead with Jane is going to be best. Pairs up against actually a lot of their team. Okay, so Honeysuckle brings in Eric, which means Eric is kind of forced out by Bypass Claws. I'm going to predict something else to come in, like Jane, and just get up a pop-ups. I think it's fairly free. Even if Eric wants to go for an attack here, Jane's not going to take too much from it, so pop-ups. I want to set some early pop-ups. Pressure. Yeah, Jane comes in. Eric is the only real pop-ups clear, so I chose not to firewall. I didn't want to lose the extra use with Acidic Armor. Elise is a pretty safe switch in here. Blocks any trick with Infuriating. Yep, went for a trick. And threatens out with Admire. Honeysuckle, if they're playing right, just to switch out and scout for Admire. So I'm free to just kind of fireworks. I think if Elise comes in on a Jane, they usually have firework, or they usually have Admire. So Honeysuckle gonna switch out into Yasmin, chip damage from that pop-ups, and then fireworks. I get some charge. I really expect Honeysuckle to go for a charge panel here, just to start getting battery for that fell captain plan. So Jane's is a fairly free switch in, but I think I'm going to do something a little more offensive and bring in Clint here. Just because I know I won't take too much from a physical attack, even if they choose to go for it. But if they go for a charge panel, it means I get Clint in for free and can start getting my speed up with, or my initiative up with Unbutton. Okay, yeah, they go for the charge panel here. It's one battery. I'm gonna Unbutton. It doesn't quite secure the knockcut here, but I can start raising my initiative for Fell at the end game. Because if Clint outspeeds Fell, it gives me a lot more power. Alright. So my Candy Locket breaks. I get the healing. I'm free to Unbutton again. They could attack. They could go for like a quick foil priority, but I'm okay taking that damage because I can just switch out and get the healing again. So they break the back pocket lock in, but I get the knockout with Unbutton. Okay. So now Clint's at +2. That gives me a lot of leeway against in-game Fell. Probably expect, yeah, Kaiban to come in here. I can't really threaten. And I really don't want to take Thorn Pendant damage with Escape Whip here. So I'm just going to bring in, I guess, probably Lise is my best play. Block a potential trick. Yeah. Okay, get the healing. Lease comes in. Blocks a trick. So that was a free switch in. Kaiben's faster, so they could use that trick again, but I immediately threaten with fireworks. It's kind of my best play. They're not in tenacious range anymore. Yeah, so I did block that mentor. I'm just gonna fireworks for the charge. 468. Okay, yep. Honeysuckle chooses to sack their Kaiben, gets that mentor off. Fel getting a little bit scary now, but I'm not as worried because I got those early unbuttons off with Clint. So Kaiben goes down. I should have a full battery now to play around with. And I'm really glad that pop-ups, I'm glad that pop-ups was there, because it put Kaiben out of tenacious range. Honeysuckle could bring in Fel here. It does put some pressure onto Lise. Yep, they do that. Okay, it looks like they're perceptive, so they're gonna get that attack boost. They do take that chip from the pop-ups. I'm actually gonna calc this. If max attack riding crop with no item would get me, because if I live, that means I can stay in and go for the knockout here. And fireworks gets the knockout, no sweat. They don't quite have their battery either, so I'm pretty free to fireworks here. The max they can do is 94. That's max attack plus 2 riding crop with no item. Okay, they go for the fireworks, maybe expecting a switch there. I get the fireworks. Okay, Gloam, come back with 1. Alright. Now they have 1. I kind of have an okay switch to Jane here if they go for the riding crop, because I'm now in range of that plus 2 riding crop. So if they go for the riding crop with my Thorn Pendant, I could get the knockout. Yeah, Escape Whip is an option. That Flourish Escape Whip, I mean. Jane, riding crop? No, okay, well played. Honeysuckle goes for the unbutton, knocks out Jane. Fel gets +1 initiative. 205. I'm at 231, so Clint's a very safe switch in here. They do have the battery, so I do need to worry about that. I think what I need to do is Escape Whip in this position. I'll get that charge, and I'll get the healing from my trait from Brought Snacks. I can proc their captain plan and then get out of there and come back in and flourish riding crop. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for that here. Okay. Proc the captain plan, very fun. I can control, get the healing, go to Molly, let's see what they went for. Riding crop, okay, ton of damage. Big damage. Molly forfeits, but that's okay. Clint comes right back in. It might have been an issue if they had unbuttoned there, but Clint is very free to come in. I have 2 full batteries. Can just flourish. I do need to flourish in order to secure the knockout here. They could bring in Jane, but I'm okay with that because I have unbuttoned next turn. And I'll start charging again my battery. So yeah, probably the right move here for Honeysuckle is to bring in that Jane. Eric would die instantly. So yep, Jane comes in. See how much damage I do to Miss Jane. 22. Alright. No Thorn Pendant. Okay, lucky. Lucky for me. I don't take that chip damage. I am free to go for the unbutton, the freest unbutton of my life. I can start charging up that battery again. Still have that extra one ready to flourish again when Fel comes in. So yeah, I'm really glad I got that pop-up early on to start chipping away at things. I'm also really happy I made that Clint switch on the Yasmin early and got those unbuttons up, because it kind of means Phil is less of a threat because I can outspeed. Yep, Phil comes back in. So here I kind of have a 50-50 where if I flourish Riding Crop and they switch, I lose my battery. They sack Eric. And then I would just be short of damage. But then I think, yeah, I can just kind of cycle escape whips from there if I need to. So, and I have more sacks than they do. So I think it's right to flourish my Riding Crop here, because I do need to flourish it in order to secure the knockout. And I have the initiative lead, so even if they go for an unbutton later on, like if they sack and then go for an unbutton, I'll still be able to outspeed. So I think because I had the battery damage here, okay. So they probably predicted that I would not flourish, thinking they would switch into Eric. But it ended up kind of being the right move there to flourish. I secured a fell, and then Eric will fall shortly after. Pop a potential Gloam Locket with that. And yeah, Riding Crop for the win. Good game, Honeysuckle. Kind of had to play a little more offensively, but I'm glad I did with this defensive team. Good game. Alright, thanks for watching, everyone. I will put my team in the description. I'll also put Smolgrump's original team link in the description. Feel free to hop onto the Discord, say thanks to Smol for running that tournament the other weekend, and see you guys on the ladder.